Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Crystal. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So I've been back for about nearly an hour from walking Max around the field lunchtime, and the past couple of weeks have been on and off, ropey, up and down. But then I looked at a video that I made the same time last year, and I was feeling exactly the same. So if you go back through your videos and pictures to a year ago, I just think it's because the weather is cold and it feels a bit miserable myself. That's what I think. It's probably the season, because I was feeling the same day last year. I just watched a video of myself talking about how I felt the same day last year. So good afternoon, everybody. I've had my lunch and I've been listening to music, because before I let this episode of depression get hold of me, I love listening to music. But something happened 2 weeks ago where I was approached in a shop by two men, and they were making fun of me, and it made me feel awful. Because everybody has feelings, every one of us has feelings. It doesn't matter if we're disabled, older, younger, everybody has feelings. And it's not funny to take the piss out of people and to make fun and humiliate someone in a crowd of people. That's not a nice thing to do. No, that the people that do it would be absolutely horrified if it happened to themselves. They wouldn't know what to do. As a person that's being victimised and bullied, knows only too well what it feels like to be humiliated and bullied in public by just, what do you call people that do that kind of thing? Mentally ill, unstable, not very nice, cruel. Maybe we should all name and shame them. You know? Why would they do such a horrific, nasty thing when they wouldn't like it done to themselves? But the thing is, you've got to have faith. Faith in yourself, and faith that justice and karma will come around and not make the situation more worse than it already is. But these idiots that are bent on trying to upset me, for what reason I don't know, and I do hope my own mother isn't involved in it, because she's old enough to know better. So I'm trying to get myself back on my feet, right? And at 2 o'clock I went out on my own. I'm a single woman, and I took my chihuahua out for a walk like I usually do every day of the week, 7 days a week, and I've hurt my knee. So that is worrying me, not only because it hurts, but I'm a bit slower on my feet. I don't know what it is. It's my kneecap swollen, and I haven't fallen over, so it's some kind of infection. So I'm keeping an eye on it. I need my legs to walk my dog. I need my legs to walk to the shop, to cross the road. I'm not back to my true 100% self, but I am trying. So I walked across the road, walked up to the field, and the sun's out, but it's freezing cold, more people about. And I just keep myself to myself because of what I've been through. And people should respect that. If people say to me, am I single? Am I interested in hooking up with someone? No, I'm not. I'm an older woman. I don't want to hook up. I don't want to muck about. And they should stop and say, right, this woman doesn't want that. Leave her alone. And weed does nothing for me. Putting weed in the lift, in the building, round where I walk my dog is not going to make me change my mind either. It's harassment, it's stalking, it's bullying, it's unnecessary. So, before I went out, I had someone on TikTok say to me, Crystal, what did you get for Valentine's Day? Well, I'm a single woman and I am not going to get Valentine's Day gifts. I'm in my 50s. My marriage broke up a long time ago. I got rid of the toxic relationships. I don't let men use my body, so I didn't get anything for Valentine's Day. No. I bought myself some flowers. I'd gone out with my son a couple of days before Valentine's Day and he helped me out and got me back on my feet when I thought I had nobody. After my mother cursed at me, swore at me, and, you know, not swore as in swear words, but the sound of your voice, Janesta, is making me feel sick. That's forever ringing in my ears. And you can understand when someone does that kind of thing to you when you're a child, how it can knock the confidence right out of you. So I didn't like that experience. But I take my mother's behaviour, taped it, and when I went back up there last time, she was completely different towards me, saying that she was like that because she was unwell and she was able to make a call to the doctor without acting like she was mad. She talked to the person on the phone for the takeaway completely normally, and she behaved like a normal person. So is it acting? Is it? I was almost spat on, I was shouted at. I felt awful. And God knows if anybody else was listening into that or watching it, probably laughing their head off. I felt abused. It's not acceptable. So my mum now thinks that everything's okay, everything's as normal, and that this Derek business is going to keep going on like my dad is still alive. Well, it fucking isn't. I'm not Derek, I don't steal, I don't do bad things. I'm a woman. These guys off of TikTok, yeah? So I went outside, and when I came back off the field, someone came out of the Rochester Riverside office on a Sunday with bags that looked like they had presents in it, and started running off across the road. And that's how I get treated. It's cruel and it's nasty. And I don't like it. But what can I do? Apart from move away from my mother. She'd left a message unbeknown to me. Sorry, the cat will tear my jumper apart and need its feet in my I don't know if the cat has actually clawed my kneecap. It's using my legs as a scratching post and it hurts. I love him to bits, but that's what cats do. and you only need a scratch to get infected. Now I've got to stand up when I want to sit down. Anyway, what was I trying to say? That why do something like that? And she said on this message about 4 times, Janestra, have a good day. And then she said, please do have a good day, and I hope you have a good day. These little scenarios, I mean, who's doing it? Because it's coinciding with the calls and the messages I get in on my phone. It's coinciding with that. And then they start this performance, like, you know, my confidence is low as it is. And you want somebody to make you feel good, not make you feel worse. I mean, who are these people? Alexa, LBC Radio.
LBC London from Global Play.
4560600973. You can text me as well, 84850. You're listening to Paul Brands on LBC. It's 31 minutes past 3. Let's get the news headlines now with Sinead Carroll.
A US official says Iran is the single greatest source of instability. Following a meeting with the Israeli Prime Minister, the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, told reporters there could never be a nuclear Iran. The business secretaries acknowledged the need for increased defence spending ahead of an emergency security summit in Paris tomorrow. Jonathan Reynolds has suggested the UK can be a bridge between Europe and the US over divisions about the future of Ukraine. Officials at the Vatican say Pope Francis has been eating and reading newspapers in hospital as he recovers from a respiratory infection. The 88-year-old did not host Sunday's prayers today. He's being treated for bronchitis. And David Tennant is hosting tonight's BAFTAs. Take That and Jeff Goldblum will be performing at the 78th awards ceremony, which takes place on London's South Bank. LBC weather staying cold and cloudy, dipping temperatures later, but it should stay dry with an overnight frost and getting down to -1.
This is LBC.
Hello, business owner. So you want your employees to get their expenses, but not at the expense of your time. Get Monzo Business, and you can get your employees their own expense card with personalised limits, and keep an eye on live spending as it happens. Now that adds up. 500,000 businesses bank with us. When will you? Get Monzo Business. Only sole traders or limited company directors in the UK can apply. Expense cards available with Team, starting from £25 a month. T's and C's apply.
Thanks to their unique boutique spirit, there really is nothing quite like a Saga River cruise. There are the elegantly designed Spirit ships, the all-inclusive dining, and of course, Saga's carefully selected excursions, packed with culture and sights. You know, they'll even drive you to and from the airport with their nationwide chauffeur service. How long now, Charles? Oh, half an hour. Marvellous. Search Saga River Cruises. Experience is everything. Chauffeur service available on UK mainland. Full terms apply. Over 50s only.
The makeshift table. Now, origin McDonald's. When a person without a table uses their lap to lay out their McDonald's meal before consuming. Commonly constructed on the 10:08 p.m. to Derby. The makeshift table from McDonald's. Served from 11 a.m, subject to availability.
Hi, here's your VIP invitation to the Flame Festival. Travel by luxury jet to party on a tropical island with A-list musical performances and Hollywood stars, acting as your own personal masseuses while you enjoy unbroken sunshine.
Some things are too good to be true. The Specsavers Too Good deal isn't. Get 2 pairs of designer glasses for £100. Include single vision lenses to the same prescription. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details.
I've got a new Samsung Galaxy S25 with Google Gemini and very particular friends. So, I just held the power button and said, find a few Italian pet-friendly restaurants with outdoor seating nearby and text them to Luca. And my phone set the perfect spot instantly. Ciao, Luca! The new Galaxy S25. Buy now for participating retailers. Compatible with selected languages only. Google account login and network connection required.
You could be our next Win Plus winner. Enter now to win big cash prizes and loads more at winplus.co.uk. 18 plus, GB only, T's and C's apply.
This is LBC with Paul Brand. Call 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Alexa, send a comment to LBC.
Good afternoon, you're listening to Paul Brand here on LBC. Lots of you reacting to those last couple of callers on this question of whether we should go our own way now and break ties to some extent with America and just accept that, you know, in terms of our values, we're no longer aligned to the same extent as we once were. We've got to reassert ourselves now as Europe. We've got this texter coming in here saying, we've just raised taxes by the largest amount in God knows how long. All these people wanting to raise taxes probably are pensioners who don't pay any. That was in reaction to the last caller who said raise taxes to pay for defence. Sheldon says if you tax to the hilt to the point there is no quality of life, then exactly what are you defending? Thanks, Sheldon. Graham says we should bring back 2 years national service for 18 to 35-year-olds and build the forces up to 1 million fit men, presumably women as well, Graham. That's from Graham in Bradford. Of course, the Conservatives did have an idea, didn't they, to bring back national service, although not necessarily military service. That policy, though, didn't win them the general election. Maybe it's something that the Labour Party should look at. Let me know what you think. 0345 6060 973. We're going to come back to more of your calls in just a few minutes' time. Before that, though, let's talk about breakfasts, because the government's flagship plan to set up free breakfast clubs in all primary schools is reportedly running into trouble, as head teachers say that initial funding is inadequate. Another reason it seems to raise taxes. If we're going to spend more money on defence as well, will we have enough money for free breakfasts? Reports are that 60p is being provided by the government per pupil. Is that really enough? Let's talk to Lindsay McDonald now, who's Chief Executive of Magic Breakfast, which has more than 20 years of experience in the field and provides breakfast to more than 300,000 children and young people every day. Hi Lindsay, thanks for joining me.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So 60p per pupil is the figure that's being reported. Is that enough to pay for a breakfast? I mean, I suppose a couple of slices of toast might be like 10, 20p, but then I'm presuming you've got to think about staffing and everything on top of that.
So to clarify, the 60p is a bit of a misleading figure, because actually that's in addition to some block payments that will be going to schools as part of the early adopter scheme. So before they set up, they'll be given £500 for equipment costs, so that might be toasters, fridges, etc. And they'll also get £1,099 to put towards staffing. And staffing in a breakfast club is the really significant cost. And then they'll get additional payments every 6 months of £1,099 to contribute to the staffing. In addition to that, the 60p per pupil, which is paid in arrears, and probably gives a bit of uncertainty to schools in terms of how many children show up and what does that really meaningfully mean to their budgets and their funding. So the pilot is going to see a lot of learning happening for schools and for the government, I would imagine.
So how confident do you feel that, you know, how much confidence do you have in this pilot working if we are talking about 60p per pupil for the food, is it? That's for the food, 60p, right?
That's right. And to provide additional funding and capacity if staffing levels, you know, if demand is such that they need to increase the amount of staffing, which you would need to do if you go with a traditional breakfast club where you have pupil to staff ratios to adhere to, then that's where I think the funding becomes really challenging and problematic. One of the things that Magic Breakfast has been advocating for to the Children's Wellbeing in Schools Bill and to the Education Committee is that they need to ensure schools understand they have flexibility. So yes, the traditional